Hey y'all, hey, it is Sunday, 5 p.m. So you know what that means? You do, right? You do know what that means. You get to hang out with me for a few, I was thinking I say a few hours. No, a few minutes. My sorry, because I know you don't want to look at me for the next 4 hours for us talking about, well, basically, if we did hang out for 4 hours, I'd be doing taxes. And I know you don't want to watch me doing taxes. I mean, but if you do, you're welcome to. I'm not going to stop you. If this is your first time joining me, my name is Beverly Johnson, your health and wellness coach, owner of the Epic Health Coaching Academy, where I believe that we as a team, we collaborate, we partner, and we help you achieve your goals. We set realistic goals and fundamentally create a process that you can achieve to get to where you are. Now, today, I'm not by myself. I am fortunate enough to have the amazing, the incomparable Dr. Kimberly Walker with me. I can't do her bio any justice, so I had to read it. So, Dr. Kimberly Walker is a seasoned African American woman with more than 30 years' experience as a psychiatrist. She's here to help the people. She's here to help the people. She's worked hard and fulfilled what she felt was her calling as a psychiatrist. Growing up and during her training, she experienced numerous microaggressions and slights that she didn't feel much about at the time, which means, and I'm glad she honed in on the microaggressions because she's going to talk about that. And if you don't know what microaggressions are, we're going to dibble and dabble in it because I guarantee you, we've all experienced it, but you didn't have a word for it. Fast forward to 2021, she realized that she was dissatisfied and suffered burnout during the COVID pandemic, as we all. She knew she had to make a change. And while she was researching, she came across a process called rapid transformational therapy, RTT. Now, before I hobble over all the words and do her no justice, let's bring her up so she can talk about RTT, microaggressions, and how we can tap into moving into our next level. I need a soundtrack with applause. I promise y'all I should have. Never mind. I got it. Kimberly, how are you?
I am great. I'm great. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So, psychiatry.
Mm-hmm.
What drew you to psychiatry?
Well, it's interesting. When I did my training in medical school, I really thought I wanted to be an OBGYN,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that specialty. But I need my sleep, and babies come whenever they want to. So I
And they
knew I
feel
needed to
like it.
figure something else out. And I really enjoyed talking to patients. And I realized that that was a good specialty for me. So that's really
Mm-hmm.
how I ended up in psychiatry. It's a bit of an accident, but it has worked
But
out.
I've heard a lot of people say that. I think even my general practice, my family doctor, she said she went into her field because she said she liked having a real schedule.
Hmm. Yeah, some
And
of
I
us
can
really need that.
tell having gone to the OBGYN to show up for your appointment, and you're like, yeah, the doctors aren't here.
Mhm. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
there's nothing you can do. You can't fault the baby for choosing now.
Exactly.
And that's a
So,
realistic thing. So in your bio, you mentioned that, which is an uncommon, experiencing microaggressions.
mhm.
Can you break that down or tell us what that looks like on a daily basis?
So, and it's funny because I didn't give it much thought,
Mm-hmm.
but it can look like a slight. For instance, I was in my apartment. This was many years ago in the basement of my apartment, and I was working out, and there was a vacuum cleaner in the gym for some reason. And someone who worked for the apartment, who I guess was giving tours to get other people in, she looked at me and she looked at the vacuum cleaner and she asked if it was mine. I said, no, no, I'm just here working out. So, something like that.
Mhm.
But little comments, and sometimes it's often really um, unconscious on the person's part,
Mhm.
just because of their biases. But it does add up. Those
Because the
slight.
one that burns my biscuit in my true Southern nature, what the one that burns my biscuit is you speak so well.
Oh yes.
That's the one that burns my biscuits.
Hmm. Yes.
Because I was at work one day. No, this was years ago, and I was in a military station in Germany, and I was at out and about, and had my uniform on. For those that don't know, I was a military officer, and I was doing my paperwork, and this lady says, "Oh, you speak so well," and I was like, "Well, how am I supposed to sound?" And she was just taken aback because I was froggy then. I was like, "Well, ma'am, how am I supposed to sound?" And I said, are you inferring me being from the South in Alabama, having an accent? Or where are we going with it?
Hmm.
And the level of gymnastics she did to try to backstep, the moonwalking she did to try to take that comment back. Well, I just mean, what are you saying?
Yeah.
And so in your space, do you give Black women especially permission to sit in that discomfort in your coaching practice?
Oh yes. And what happens, and then we'll talk about RTT
Mhm.
a little bit later, but what happens is often there is a realization that there are experiences that we just kind of take, we just kind of deal with, and we don't really think about it. But during the session, it comes to our awareness.
Mm.
So so I would love to talk about RTT so we can kind of get
So we're
into
about to slide
what
over
happened.
that way. So as we were all in the pandemic, in
Mhm.
your reckoning with yourself,
Mhm.
how did you stumble upon RTT? And please explain to us what that is.
Sure. So RTT is rapid transformational therapy,
Mhm.
and it is a modality that was developed by Marissa Peer, and it uses targeted hypnotherapy in order to reveal the root cause of an issue. And in the process, limiting beliefs are
Mhm.
identified. So I was burned out. I was thinking, I'm not sure I can still be a psychiatrist because just day in and day out, just seeing misery,
Mhm.
depression, anxiety, suicidal feelings. I mean, the pandemic was rough. It's
It
it's
was.
still rough, but at the height of it, it really um, it was just too much, and I had compassion fatigue, and it was bad. So
Mhm.
I ended up taking a class online, and it was called Change. And one of the assignments was to research different thought leaders in mindset and uh, meditation. So I ran across Marissa Peer,
Mhm.
and reading about her and the RTT, I thought, oh, this is a great modality. This is going to help me help my patients. And then becoming certified in RTT, of course, I had to have sessions,
Mhm.
and it involves hypnosis. And hypnosis, folks sometimes have concerns about hypnosis. We see strange things on TV, and if we have time, I can talk about that. Yeah, and it's really not. It's really not like that. It's really a very deep state of relaxation, but
Mhm.
it allows us to access the unconscious mind, and the unconscious mind is open to suggestions, open to
Mhm.
positive suggestions. And with an ethical person, you don't have to be afraid of what the
Mhm.
suggestions are going to be. We partner, I partner with my clients. and we partner with the unconscious mind. And so what came up for me in sessions, you end up reviewing scenes from your past, and you're not
Mhm.
reliving them, you're just reviewing them. So things came up like I grew up in an all white suburb, and I remember this memory of sitting in my bedroom. I'm probably about 10, and just this feeling, this realization that my beauty is not celebrated. So it's just things are better now because we see more images. But when I was coming up, you really didn't see that many Black images. And certainly beauty looked a certain way.
And
So,
you are so right about that because over the years, I can imagine when you as a child, the there was Diane Carroll.
mhm,
And even then, there was such a premium on European aesthetics.
mhm, yes.
And so, as you delve into that and you found that RTT, because I have so many questions. I have like a page full of questions, but I know I got to stay on track. That as you found that,
Mhm.
how do you introduce that to a potential in your practice? How do you introduce that to your client to say this is a path I want you to take?
So my coaching,
Mhm.
that is all that I do. So if
Uh-huh.
someone comes to me, they have to be willing to do that, and I explain it very clearly. I
Mhm.
have also used RTT with some of my patients in my psychiatry practice. So we discuss it, and and basically sometimes you just know that there is something. It's something under the surface.
Mhm.
There's something that a lot of the rational therapies may not be able to really get at, or maybe will take a really long time because the conscious mind is trying to keep you safe,
Mhm.
and change feels unsafe. And a lot of the therapies that talk to the conscious mind, it can really take a long time.
Because I'm
So,
just fascinated by this topic. So forgive me for all my questions and how random and across the spectrum they're about to be because I didn't write these in no particular order.
okay.
Um, how does that differ? Because when we talk about therapy, I think we have, I don't know the official word for it, the talk therapy. Is that
Mhm.
cognitive based? Is that what we do?
Yes.
The talk there?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
burning with kerosene. How
Mhm.
does that differ or can that be used in conjunction with RTT?
It can be used in conjunction, and RTT definitely has aspects of
Okay.
cognitive therapy because we're looking at words, we're looking at thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And so we are definitely looking at thoughts, but the unconscious mind, the difference is, or a huge difference is, the unconscious mind is readily accepting of the change,
Mm.
and the conscious mind is a little more resistant. So it can take longer.
So
And the Go ahead.
can you give an example of a type of belief that RTT can unlock?
Sure.
Because I'm in it.
Yeah.
Because I love science.
Mhm.
And you have tapped into the vein. You have tapped into the vein, Dr. Kim. You have tapped the
Okay.
vein. I am in it. How do you make that transition? Because again, because I really want you to demystify the process because we've all seen the movie Get Out and the lady with the coffee. We've all seen the movie Get Out and she had the cup and she was like, "Stink." And he went into the recesses of his mind.
Okay.
And so I don't want anybody to have that idea of what
Right.
RTT is like. Oh,
Right.
she's about to coffee cup me. She's not
Right.
coffee cupping me. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
So it really is a partnership. It is a
Okay.
partnership, and you are in control. Okay. Hypnosis, you remain in control. For instance, if the fire alarm went off, you would open your eyes and you would be
Mhm.
able to function. So first of all, it's a partnership.
Okay.
And when you're reviewing scenes, during the process, we look at the scenes to make meaning of what is the mind taking away. So common limiting beliefs are I'm not enough, uh, I'm different and I can't connect, that's not available to me. Others are, I must do things perfectly.
Mhm.
Uh, I'm too young. I'm too old. There are a number of limiting beliefs, but there are some core ones. I think that I'm not enough is a very common
That's a
one.
powerful one.
And
So who would
we yeah, go ahead.
but that is something that is sometimes reinforced with family.
Yes.
It can be reinforced by subconsciously or unintended consequences of other people
Yes.
that they will push their fears onto you.
Mhm. Exactly.
So, in the world of everything that's going on, what will make a good candidate in your practice or as a coach for RTT? Is it someone that has already struggled with mental health issues? That's a whole separate funnel we're not going to talk about, but who would be a good candidate for you?
So, and you bring up mental health because obviously there's interplay. So I always recommend that if you are having, let's say you have significant anxiety or significant depression or trauma, I want to make sure that you have had some treatment and that's really been well addressed. So, good candidates for RTT. Well, first of all, you really have to be committed to the process because it involves a 2-hour session itself. There's an intake, and then the session can last up to 2 hours. And then I make a transformation recording that comes out of the positive suggestions that come out of your particular session. So it is for you. It's individualized and you need to listen to that daily for 21 days. I mean, that's really what we recommend because that helps to seal the change that has occurred. So a lot of times you come out of the session and oh, I feel so much better. I feel lighter. And then there are some cumulative effects that you notice over time. So you have to be committed to the process. And you have to really want to change because, the fear of the unknown can keep
Mhm.
us stuck in that spot,
So
not
how
knowing. Mhm,
so how many sessions would I have to or set yeah coaching sessions will I have to go through? I know you said 21 days, and how
mhm,
is there a certain point where it sticks? Like how many sessions will we have to go through for the
mhm.
process to completion?
Well, in my coaching package, I have 3 sessions. I found that really works well because other things get uncovered,
Mhm.
things that are related to the original issue. And I am really working with high achieving Black women, especially who have been in academia, medicine, and have
Mhm.
dealt with the systemic issues, the systemic oppression in those systems, and are burned out.
Because
So,
because case in point was what's her name, Dr. Bonnie at Lincoln University,
oh yes,
where she had endured so many microaggressions and everything else, where unfortunately she felt her only recourse was to make a final decision.
yeah, yeah.
And that is a hard thing. So, in this field of RTT, are y'all, in this field of RTT, I'm going to let you answer the question and then I'm going to mute myself and go take care of my kitchen. In this field of RTT, are there other practitioners?
Yes. Yes, there are other practitioners. There are plenty of practitioners. I think that one thing that I feel like I bring to the table is because of my more than 30 years of experience as a psychiatrist, I feel like I am able to really harness that experience. And although I'm not treating mental health
Mhm.
issues per se in this coaching, sometimes things come up. People have trauma that sometimes comes up. So we deal with that as a vehicle
Okay.
in the RTT. Mhm.
And thank you for making sure that people, if you choose to work with you, they understand that this is a separate modality from what the psychiatrist part.
Yes. Mhm.
So go back on my notes. So in this space, because this is just fascinating that there's a modality that exists to help tap into the limiting beliefs.
Mhm.
Um, because I don't know the right terminology, forgive me for not saying it right.
That's fine.
On average, how long is a person under if they're under RTT, under the hypnotherapy part?
The hypnosis. So
Mhm.
it only takes a few minutes to get someone into hypnosis. It's a pretty rapid induction. So someone is in hypnosis for, it could be a good hour and a half. Oh yeah, it can last a long time depending on, what we're working on. It's a very, very thorough process, because you use different techniques to basically prove you're using the adult intellect to deal with the child that
Mhm.
kind of held on to that belief, and it's still operating under the surface, and we're just not aware of it. So there's different techniques, and it takes a while.
So after your 3 sessions,
Mhm.
what's the final? How does it look when the person has finally done the shadow work and you help uproot that? What's the litmus test for making sure that they've done the work?
Well, so I mean, I check in with them between
Mhm.
sessions, and I check in after the session. So I basically find out, okay, what kind of progress have you made with respect to what you wanted to work on? So
Mhm.
that's really how we find out um, what's happened.
This is so fascinating. For the people in the back, is this covered by insurance? Is this covered by insurance?
No, coaching is not covered by insurance.
Oh, I was hoping RTC was covered by. Okay, y'all,
Well, if
it's
someone
not
wants to use
covered.
it, yeah, coaching is not covered by insurance. So, mhm.
So, man, this is just fascinating, 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 fascinating. So I'm trying to make sure I have the visual. So a potential client comes to you specifically for in this vein, specifically for RTT,
Yes.
and you've identified them as a good candidate.
Mhm.
Is there anything that would not make them a good candidate?
So, and I have a free discovery call where we kind of
Okay.
flesh some of this out, but I would say that if someone has significant trauma that they are still, really dealing with, if someone has psychotic illness,
Mm-hmm.
so because of the potential inability to tell between reality and fantasy, we typically would not want to use hypnosis in that case. Um, Also, I've read that there's concerns if folks have kind of active epilepsy.
Mm.
So we just because the brain is the brain's amazing,
It
and
is
yes, yes, we want to be very careful, be very
because
careful with it.
with everything that we've seen, and this is as I'm listening to you unfold this, I realize I've watched too much TV because I'm thinking about the episodes of shows I've seen where the person was under this type of therapy and the evil therapist calls and has them commit crimes. I've watched too
Mhm.
much TV. I have. I have to own that. So you said we can book a discovery call with you. Where will we go
Mhm.
to do that?
So my website is drwalkercoach.com. So Dr.
Mm-hmm.
Walker Coach.
Okay.
Okay. And you can go to my website and you can book a discovery call there. There's a bunch of buttons there to say
Hmm.
book a call.
So, how long does the discovery call take?
It's typically about 30 minutes,
Hmm.
but if we need more than 30 minutes, then I'll take it.
For 30 minutes. Now, on your other side, have you had on the therapy on the psychiatrist part? Have you ever had say, you know what? I think you can benefit from RTT.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, I have used RTT with some of my patients. Yes.
Y'all, we are branching into a whole new realm of healing. Thank you for breaking it down and helping demystify. Because I think as a whole, we are still scared of hypnosis
Mhm.
because y'all Get Out messed us up. The movie Get Out messed us up as a whole, and yeah,
Yeah.
every time you see somebody with a cup, your mind just goes. Dr. Walker, you know it's true. That movie, that scene did nothing for hypnosis at all.
Well, all we can do is I try to, I try to stress that I'm an ethical person and I'm not going to do anybody any harm. So,
So y'all, if now I know you alluded to it earlier. So your target are is normally high achievers.
that is my target. That is actually who I have done most of my work with. So that
Okay.
has been my target.
So what would you define as, because I hear somebody go, well, I'm not, how would I know I'm high achieving? How would you define a high achiever?
So are you putting in the work?
Mhm.
I often do end up working with women who are over over 40. That's often uh, who I work with. Making a pivot. Are you are you an entrepreneur? Are you in corporate? Are you, that's who I have worked with. But
Okay.
you can feel free to book a call and we'll talk about it.
Okay. Because I
Yeah.
don't want anybody to say, well, I'm just regular, but I can see how this would benefit me. Because I'm regular. Let me see if I got all my questions because I had a lot of read on. Yes, 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 and yes. So, are you one of the few Black women in that space of RTT?
Yes. And I'm one of the few Black women who are a psychiatrist in the space. Yes. Now I can't give you numbers, but
No, I don't.
there aren't that many.
So, how do you? So, is this like how do you keep abreast of? Because it sounds like it's a very small community of practitioners.
So what's nice about it is there's a Facebook group
Mhm.
of RTT alumni. So, I do pop in there. Um, so I can kind of see what folks are doing and what folks are asking about. So it's a nice way to keep connected.
Okay, so at the style. Okay. So as y'all can hear, I was cooking dinner and I
Hey,
did
you
my
gotta
dinner.
eat. You gotta eat.
First time out of the years I've done that my dinner has decided to co-star in the stream. All the years. I was muted because my dog was right here barking,
Hmm.
right here. The food is going off. It's a perfect storm on both sides.
Well,
And I'm
life
just sitting there
happens.
like, but it's a part of life. So before
Yes.
we head out, do you have any more final words of wisdom you'd like to share with us about RTT?
I just want to say that it really can shift your life in an amazing manner and you'll find out surprising things. Oh, also, I do have a free PDF on my website. If you go to my website, it's called Your 5-Step Guide to Getting Unstuck. So you can check that out, and I have some strategies in there because I a lot of the folks that I work with are stuck, like I
What was
was.
the name of it as I type it in the
It's
chat?
your 5-step guide to getting unstuck.
Okay. Step guide. And I like how you reference the title because I don't think we all realize that under the surface there's so much stuff we're dealing with and how we develop coping mechanisms
Hmm.
to account for it.
Yes.
So I appreciate you being in the field of I won't say experimenting, tapping into RTT and y'all. It's not like Get Out, um, for us to heal. And this seems like a great path for you to do the work to heal your inner child.
Yes. And it's really gratifying when you see
Mhm.
someone finish and they just have this look of relief. Um, it's gratifying. So
I can imagine. So, how would you describe Dr. Kimberly now versus 2021 version?
so now I definitely feel more open to
Hmm.
possibilities. I've launched this coaching practice, and the entrepreneurial world is just so different. With the psychiatry, people come to me,
Hmm.
and here I am going after leads, and so it's a whole different world. But I just feel very excited about the possibilities. So
Now,
that's
can
probably
this
one of the
be
biggest things. Mhm.
okay? Can this be something that with a client you can do virtually?
Oh, I do. Oh, I didn't mention that. I do it all virtually. It's
Okay,
all
okay,
virtual. Yes.
okay.
Yes.
And that's what I wanted to make sure of because I didn't want someone to be able to believe that it only had to be in office. Thank you for demystifying the process. Thank you for offering another tool for us to heal. And
My
don't
pleasure.
allow, because this may resonate with somebody that's like, you know what, I think I need more.
Mhm.
So thank you for creating an and more for
My
someone
pleasure.
that feels they need that extra layer because it's easy to get stuck.
Yes, it is.
And sometimes part of your healing is to recognize that you are stuck and you're not sure how to
Get
make
unstuck.
that transition because we've all had that thing. Because I just had this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday that sometimes you'll hit a season where you know you're not where you want to be, but you don't know how to get over that hump.
Right. Right.
So please take advantage of the free download. Please take advantage of the free call. Dr. Kimberly, thank you for I won't say suffering through. Thank you for enduring my dog because she knows it's time to eat and she was trying to bully me into feeding her. Thank you for the steaming corn. Thank you for your grace.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed speaking with you.
Thank you so much because she is now sitting diagonal to me, mean mugging me. I am being abused in my own home by a chihuahua and I don't like it.
Oh, a chihuahua. Okay.
And I was sitting here and realized I have the front door open and every day somebody walks their German Shepherd right about now. And I was hoping she did not take off in a blaze to go
Mm.
bark at the front door. I was like, just give me this. This all just. So instead, she's bullying me in a diagonal. So, Dr. Kimberly, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing with us your amazing practice. Have an amazing evening. Y'all don't forget, she says she's virtual.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach Beverly. I appreciate
So,
it.
y'all have a great evening. I think spring is finally fighting back.
Mhm.
I think spring is fighting back. So, if you have a chance, go out this week and enjoy this beautiful weather. And I'll see y'all next week. Bye, y'all.
Bye.